Good morning. How are you today? Well, we have mists and we have early 70s and we have possibilities of big rainstorms. Right now it's not raining. Uh, the ability of Americans to beat themselves up is quite amazing. Afghanistan, most of America can't wrap its mind around the following observation. Afghanistan, though it had 20 years of our training and funds and everything else, when push came to shove and it was time to defend themselves, the president ran for the hills, the soldiers sold out, and as a result, and apparently we were surprised that they had so little character, the government collapsed in a matter of days. That's it. That's the whole story. And now everybody wants to finger point. Which president took us there? Who let us stay there too long? Why did we do it and everything? You know, you'd think these dialogues would happen when it mattered, like before we go to Afghanistan, before we spread ourselves thin between Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, and who knows what other places. And I've said this before, defining the mission, why we're going in the first place. The second thing is that we're going to have this story now for 2 weeks? And they're talking about hearings on the Hill so we can, beat ourselves more every day. America's become a soap opera instead of a government. I thought that Biden said the right thing yesterday. The fact that they ran away is proof positive another year wasn't going to turn them around. So they weren't going to fight any better if we stayed another year. Fair point. So we should leave. Fair point. Should we have anticipated that the Taliban would use the time to buy out the security forces? And why were the security forces vulnerable to being bought out? Well, because they hadn't been paid for 6 to 9 months. Now, how does that happen? Because the funds that probably were in Kabul went out the door with the president when he fled the country. That's one possibility. And I guess we could study that. I'm not sure to what advantage. The second story that we have is also based on a combination of worthless, stupid people who think their life is like a roulette game in which I don't have to get vaccinated. I don't have to wear a mask. I don't have to stay a distance away. Oops, I'm in a hospital. I really should have taken that vaccine. The sinister thing is that they're taking up beds from people who need them. And, one person's elective surgery is another person's life or death. And they have these ne'er-do-wells clogging up our medical system. And here, not far from where I am in Winchester, Virginia, there are nurses standing outside saying they want the freedom not to be vaccinated. And if they don't change their mind, they'll be fired. They should be fired. They should be run out of the town. How is a nurse who's breathing into a person, taking care of them, not supposed to take a vaccine, not to wear a mask? It's astonishing. The Republicans want a school system in which our children are as dumb as posts. And this is what you get when you have people who don't know how to think. And let's deal with the fact that the real world requires rational thinking, not imagineering that I can do whatever I want. I feel fine now. Oops, I'm sick and I'm in the hospital. I sometimes think that we were better off when I was younger, and the news only came on at a couple of critical times in the day. Now a story is relentlessly reported 11, 12, 13 times, and even after the first time it's told, it's still always breaking news. How can it be breaking news? How can there be so many breaking news stories every day? Afghanistan can hardly be a breaking news story. The virus, that is, we have the stupid versus the intelligent, those who respect science and those who believe in Ouija boards. And the debate seems pretty simple. You know, all of us have had the experience in which we go to a meeting and it just seems some plain talk could end that meeting in 5 minutes. But we talk for hours instead, and we don't always arrive at the obvious, sensible conclusion. That's America. We're still discussing how do we promote people to protect themselves so they protect others by having good conduct. We have people saying, why did my son, my uncle, whomever, die in Afghanistan or Iraq or Pakistan when we're withdrawing? Well, that's the question in every war. And it's always the risk that the changing political assessments and maybe military assessments will mean that people died for no damn good. Afghanistan, when we went there, it was not like it was a tabula rasa where we had no idea what was going on there. We'd seen what happened to the British. We'd seen what happened to Genghis Khan before them. We'd seen what happened to the Russians, but we were going to be different. People act like that all the time. That great American philosopher, Clint Eastwood, said a man ought to know his limitations. Well, America doesn't know its limitations, has too much hubris, doesn't respect the facts, doesn't follow the logic. You don't have to be a first-class general to examine some of these things. And the military-industrial complex, ever since Eisenhower warned us about it, has led us into more scrapes and cost us more deaths and fortune than is righteous, is defensible. And Afghanistan is just the most recent one. Obama tried to get us out. Biden tried to get us out. Trump tried to get us out. And, you know, Trump may have set the perimeters in such a way that the exit was worse. But, I don't know how you fault anyone. You get into a bad situation, retreating and withdrawing can't be good. So, I think that we should minimize our attendance upon the 11th, 12th, and 15th time the same story is told to us over the next week. Be better for our state of mind as citizens. Better that we spend our time on America saying, what are you guys doing about voting? What are you guys doing about indicting the criminals who are comparable to the terrorists who threw out the government in Afghanistan when we have our own group of deplorables who did it, tried to do it, right here in the United States of America? We say the land of the free and the home of the brave, but when we fail to act, it's not so clear that that's a fair appellation for who and what we are and what we've become because of the fearful politicians who don't do their jobs. So, it's up to us. Give them backbone. Make them do what they're supposed to do. Preserve and protect our Constitution. Deal with our problems. And get on it now while it still can make a difference. All the best. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.